and I'm here with, thanks for recording the meeting. My name is Kyle. I wanted to first preface this by saying thanks to everyone for taking time out of your day and coming to this meeting. And I'm here with Chen Hui, and we will be just giving you a very brief intro to interactive games, talk about what they are, what they do, and how we can definitely monetize off of it and by leveraging it into your live streams. And if you have any questions throughout this presentation, feel free to let me know. And without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's dive straight into it. So, 没有吗？ Okay, so just an overview of today's presentation. We're going to first be talking about what interactive games are, and a couple of highlights as to why they're so popular in China as well as in other areas as well all around the world. And Chen Hui is going to be talking about the logistics and as well as the basics as to how we're going to be streaming the games in your live streams. So first off, let's talk about what interactive games are. Now, interactive games are one of the quickest ways to increase the stream duration and monetization. It's basically you're sort of playing this game that directly invites your audience to join into your live stream. And there are actions like, say, typing in the chat, sending GIFs can directly impact the progress of the game. So it's a way to gamify the entire live stream process and really boost your engagement with your audience. So there's three main features when it comes to interactive games. First is the real-time nature. Users can directly interact with the live streamer, the streamers in real time, and they can type in a chat, like I said, and directly impact the progress of the game. And secondly, it's a great way to monetize because not only the users are going to be typing in a chat, they'll also be encouraged and incentivized to send gifts to the streamer in order to win the games that they're playing. And from monetization standpoint, that is one of the most effective ways to bring in more revenue during each one of your streams. And lastly, because of the competitive nature of the games and the need for the users' constant engagement, that leads to the fans' increased loyalty and stickiness to your stream, and that helps with community building very, very much. And I'm going to be addressing each of the 3 points individually in the next slides. So diving into the next slide, first off, one of the most important highlights when it comes to interactive games is that it helps you build a crowd in real time. Like I said, the interactive games, they're happening in real time, and the users can directly join the games by typing in the chat, by sending gifts. So essentially, it's just a way to get your audience to join the stream and really engage with the live streamer. So there are 4 main features when it comes to building this crowd. First is the interactive aspect of the interactive games. It's a very brand new concept. It combines a traditional gameplay with the interactive nature of live streams. So, like I said, it's another way to gamify live streams and inviting users to join into your streams and really engage with you. And secondly, the engagement, the special thing about interactive games is that the engagement is highly individualized, meaning that when users type in the chat and join the game, their messages are not just going to be one of the messages that get buried in your chat. Instead, they're going to be able to visualize the impact they have directly on the stream. And that brings them first a sense of achievement, and that also just increase the level of engagement they have with you. So it's individualized engagement. And next, because of the team nature and the competitiveness of the games, users are incentivized to form teams and incentivized to bond with other users in your stream, by just cultivating this teamwork spirit, and which leads to the last point. Since they're able to engage with their teams and they're gonna be able to bond over the games, that will lead to a very loyal fan base. And if you run the streams consistently, more and more users are going to be loyal to your streams. So that was the first highlight about building a crowd in real time. Any questions? Okay, moving on. Right now, we just talked about building a crowd for you, right? And we're not only trying to build a crowd here, we're also trying to build a crowd that will lead to conversion, meaning that not only do we need them to engage with the streamers, we're also incentivizing the crowd to spend money on your streams. And that leads to our second point. Specific gift rewards correspond with different in-game items. You can think of it this way. You know how on TikTok, you can send roses, finger heart, candy canes, perfumes, and they all correspond with individual in-game items that bring in different effects to the game. So meaning that there's like this strategy aspect to it. Not only are we playing this game, and you can tell your audience that, oh, by sending different gifts, you can achieve different effects in this game. And in order to win, we have to strategize around it by like sending different gifts at different times. So it just like adds this very entertaining element to your live stream, and that directly leads to conversion because you're trying to tell the audience to like spend. And in terms of the logistics, here users can participate by commenting specified messages in the chat and know the IDs, meaning that in order for them to participate, they'll need to type in a chat, say like a specific number, your specified number. You can literally tell them to like typing like 3 6s in order to join the game. And not only that, when it comes to conversion, you can prompt them to send different gifts depending on the progress of the game. And we'll be setting up individualized workshop depending on the games that each of you get assigned. But the gist of it is that different in-game items correspond with different gifts, and that adds a whole lot of entertainment and conversion incentive for the audience. Now, the last but not least highlight is that not only now we're talking about building an audience and getting them to spend, but the most important thing is retention, right? Like we're not only trying to get them to spend, we're also trying to get them to spend consistently. And that brings in our third highlight. We're making the audience stay by introducing this whole idea of competitive rankings and the whole idea of having different levels, in-game levels. Meaning that like the more a fan spends, the more a fan engages, the higher they are in terms of the level. Say, for example, if I like spend, this is just an example, if I type 10 messages and if I spend X dollar amount, I will be able to reach that kind of level. And that brings in a sense of achievement, especially if that's endorsed by the streamer by giving them, oh, yo, like shout out to my boy, stuff like that. And not only that, for users, for the audience who have a higher level, when they enter the live stream, they're going to have a special in-game animation, and that ultimately it brings them a sense of achievement and acknowledgement, and that will give them more of an incentive to keep spending in game, to sort of like to sustain the level that they're on. And secondly, the competitiveness, again, like the whole ranking system is to cultivate a sense of competition amongst users in order to like stay on the leaderboard, especially the big gifters. They're willing to drop a lot of money in order just to be able to, like stay on top of the leaderboard. And that's going to bring in a lot of consistency in terms of spending. So ultimately, it's going to build you an audience that will stay and spend. And any questions so far?
I'm sorry,
Okay.
I tend to put questions in the chat, but you answered the first one. I asked if levels would be continuing from live to live, or if they stop and reset after the live. And you did answer that question. You said if they have a higher level, they come in with recognition immediately upon coming in, which I love that idea.
Yes, exactly. It's the whole point is to kind of give the audience an incentive to keep spending, right? And that's why everything is that cumulative, and like they're going to be able to say, oh, not only like it doesn't reset after the game, and there's this leaderboard, so I need to like be able to stay on top of it. Like I need to keep spending.
I do have a question for you really
Yeah, go
quick.
ahead.
Now, can we make this like an event type? And if so, how do we charge for this? Like, can you charge for events, or is it all just free for the app of TikTok?
Sorry, could you repeat that? Like,
So like certain like events, like I'm just saying, are we doing this where it's event only, or we could just do this like freely in the lives coming up?
you can do it freely, like in every single one of your like live streams, as long as it's, you know, like you're essentially running this program on your like on your computer, and you're broadcasting that program in your stream. So you can do it whenever you want. However, like you said, if you want to set up a specific event for, you know, special occasions, say if you're going, if you think that will attract more big gifters to your stream, you can certainly do that. But the gist of it is that, to answer your question, you can run it whenever you stream.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And just to give you guys an idea of the special animation when big gifters enter, here's a very short clip. As you can see, this is the big gifter entering. You see like this whole dragon thing, it looks very fancy. I know this like animation looks very extravagant, but as you get more experience streaming this game, and as your fans and audience get more familiar with this process, they're gonna understand the fun of it. But for now, diving into the next slide, I will kick it over to Qianhui, and she will be talking about, in terms of the logistics, how should streamers talk, like what are some talking points and what are some established practices in other markets. Qianhui, now the floor is
yours. It's my turn. Okay. All right. So, can you hear me? Yeah, so now we'll dive into the streaming tutorial. Yeah, so first, we'll quickly introduce some of the types that you will have for the interactive games. So normally we'll have 4 types. Basically, one is a combat games that the users will join, for example, the right side or the blue side, and they will combat with each other. And the second one is more like a Splatoon or Monopoly, which like people joining one teams to beat with each other. Like usually it will be 4 to 6 or to even more, or they just stand for themselves and to compete with each other. And the third one will be tug of war style, like people joining also joining different sides, and they trying to, for example, this one for this the soccer ball, like they are trying to get the soccer ball to their own side. And the last one will be more like a casual game, like just like the tower defense that we are playing, that the audience, they add scores to, for example, to the guidance of the gate and to compete with the computer. So this is the most important page that will get into you like how you usually run into a whole live. So first of all will be the intro part. It's just like your normal live that welcome users to the live and make some self-introduction. And then it will be like intro to the gameplay rules and prompts. For example, if we are doing a combat rules, combat games, tell you the audience, for example, to joining the red side, like type A or type 1 in the comment, or you join the blue side, type 2 or type blue or type B in the comment as well. And then we can also guide the users to use their prompts to participate in the games. So usually different prompts with different values, they will add different score or different functions into the game. For example, if you give a rose, it may probably only have 1 blood hurt, but if you are doing a doggy or something, even a much higher gift, it will have a much stronger heart to the other side. And so we'll usually repeat the intro part again and again, as well as like there are new users joining the lives, because like people won't be familiar with how they can play with the games. So it will be like just tell you them like choose one side and type in the comment. And then I will be like during the games, we'll usually do some of the commentary on the gameplay. For example, explain the level differences. When we get the games, for example, if the one side, for example, the right side, they have higher scores and they have much big bosses get into the game, just asking the other side to send more gifts and to influence their part. And also we can do some of the explanations of the differences of the sides. For example, why they got this kind of soldiers and why the other one, they have a much bigger boss. And lastly, and the most important, just thank the leaderboard at the end, because we'll have usually 2 kind of rankings. One is the in-game rankings. For example, who gives the most valuable gifts in one game, but also we'll have a world ranking, which means along the whole world, like all the users on TikTok, who gives the highest ranking, which is the greatest recognition for the big brothers. So that's the most important part. Just give them a strong recognition and then warm up for the next round. So we'll give you a kind of live demo on this process, and Kyle will like be
the live interpreter of whatever is going on. Again, I saw this question in the chat about how if this is like the script that you have to follow in order to conduct like every single one of your stream. Again, like this is all just information about how we conduct, how the streamers in the established markets conduct the interactive game streams. So nothing is mandatory because we think you guys know your audience is best. So you feel free to experiment with different ways to conduct the streams. And the last slide was just information on some of the roles that the streamers can play during the live streaming in order to better engage the audience, according to our past experience. But that said, here is basically how, like, what the live streams look like in the established markets, namely the Chinese market. So first off, we have like on the very left, we have this like Splatoon game called Elves. And basically what the streamer is doing, I'm just gonna play the clip. Basically, she's saying that right now it looks like the blue team is looking for they need assistance, and they're like falling behind. And because you can see that the yellow side is definitely winning. They're just, you know, completely kicking. They're just completely in the lead. As well as addressing the big gifters who might make who might have a heavy impact on the progress of the game. So basically, when the new gifters came in, she's like, "Oh yeah, like welcome, like like how are you? Like welcome this user." And right now, we're like the blue team is falling behind.
可以来支援吗，家们？目前我们黄队还有9200发，我们可以先让子弹飘一会儿，家们。我们的法位哥哥要上场吗？我们目前开始打榜了，家们。马上到12点，咱们能不能把咱的榜往上冲一冲？今天更新啊，大野哥一手电智慧血，白太哥一手。
Basically, she's just saying that like currently blue team is losing. Is there anyone that can help out blue team? Is there anyone that can like help a brother out? And when the big gifters came in, can you help? Stuff like that. And the second clip is, we can see that it's a tug of war game, and the streamer is also just explaining what is going on and which side is losing, which side is winning, and what we can do for the losing side as well as for the winning side in terms of strategy.
Gotcha!
So basically what he said is like, oh, Brother Mountain, that was the big gifter, it has just joined the stream. Now like, oh my God, what is he gonna do? Basically just commentating, adding this like dramatic effect, making sure it's entertaining, and making sure that you're addressing whatever is going on to the audience, helping them understand what is going on, and helping them definitely acknowledge the key players in the game that are making a massive difference. Like he said, like Shangge, it just directly translates into Brother Mountain, like who was the big gifter that has just joined the game and just sent a big gift. I know the energy is like probably not like very applicable to your streams, but it's just like a general guideline as to like how like the roles that the streamer is playing here. It's more about the intention. It's like, holy cow. Like this player is becoming a key. This player is, really making an impact. He's carrying his team. Oh my God, stuff like that. And the third clip. So he's saying that right now, oh my God, it's like the pivotal moment. This new gifter, like you can see, like this gifter, she's here. Oh my God, is she gonna be the saving grace for the game? Oh my God. She's gifting all of this like dinosaur gifts, and it's really making an impact. You guys are losing. We're turning the tides. That's literally what he's saying, but it's just the energy is like very, expressive. But again, it's all about the intention. You're addressing the big gifters, you're explaining whatever is going on. And she's just saying that Brother Banlan, which is one of the big gifters, has been a very loyal player for us, and he has this very high ranking, and I'm sure that he's going to be able to do something incredible to like turn the tides or just like affect the game and help us win. And the last clip is pretty interesting because it's more educational, right? Like the first 4 clips we looked at were all just, acknowledging big gifters, telling the audience whatever is going on, helping them, telling them like what are some strategies what are some things that they can do in order to win, in order to, turn the tides. And lastly, this clip, the streamer was telling the audience what specific items can do in this game. So I'm just going to play the clip. So he's saying that this Master Yi is going to, like, by summoning this Master Yi, it's going to have this impact on the game. It's going to be able to. Master Yi is going to summon a special type of creeps And the special type of creeps, you can think of them, I don't know if you play League of Legends, you can think of them like super minions. And basically they're just going to be way tankier, and they're going to be able to, like, by summoning this Master Yi, you're going to be summoning the super minions, and who are going to add a lot of HP to your team. So I know it's like a lot of information, and I know the energy it might be off in your opinion, but again, this is just an overview of what the established practices look like in other markets. And I think the most important thing here is the roles that the streamers are playing in those games. And I feel like those are the doctrines that we can abide by when it comes to streaming the games in your streams. Any questions? Yeah, go ahead.
I do have a question really quick. So is this chat versus chat in your own stream? And if so, is there a way in the future to do like a co-host to battle other gamers?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
us?
We'll have like more like a co-host version after we doing like this kind of single one. So basically, for example, in China, like two streamers will like combat with each other, and their fans will like joining each side. Yeah, we'll do that later.
Yeah, so right now it's mostly just chat versus chat. It's like it's more like Civil War, type vibes. But in the future, we'll be incorporating more co-host type of match, so that you can directly go head to head against other streamers, and it's definitely gonna be a lot more entertaining. And moving on.
Yeah, so it's pretty like the four steps. So first, like just introduce to your users like what is going on, like people who are not familiar with like the interactive games, just introduce like how to play with the games, and then just consistently remember them the rules. For example, if you are sending what kind of gifts they will be, what kind of influence they will make, because all the goal we have is to asking them for giving more gifts and to having more impact in their site. So that's the most important thing. And also, we can during the live, we can always like recognize some of the most interesting elements and then to highlight them to your users. For example, the Star Wars will later show you they have two special rule, which one is a commander and then a deputy commander. Those two recognition is to the people who giving the most gifts for one game. So just remember those kind of special recognitions and always invite the big brothers to sending gifts and then to make more impact. Yeah. So next level. Yeah, so we'll have the summary. Those are the key points we think for the beginners, but also just those are the things we summarize from a more mature market, which is like how the games are played in China and how they making more money. The first one is like choose the right game category, because we'll provide different kind of games. So it will depends on what kind of audience or what kind of fans you have. So some of them, they do more competitive, like they have different big brothers, they want to compete with each other, or some of them, they just enjoy a more casual game, so that audience, they join together to compete with the computer. So choose the right game category according to your style. And also the most important thing is the live streaming, the flow. First, just get users to be familiar with how the game is playing. That in the whole process, like just get the competitive mode, so that they want to make more gifting. They want to stand out for their teams, for their site, to make the huge impact. They want to be the hero for their site. That's the most important thing, so that they can get more gifts and they can be always recognized by by you guys, like to calling their names, like for example, oh, this brother, hey just send a what, and then I hurt the other side for like, for example, 100 point blood or what kind of thing, just having them to have this kind of match point and asking for the gifts. And the lastly will be like getting the big gifters with the core match point, and then highlight what they have, what kind of influence they have, or what kind of special recognitions like the commander or the deputy commander they have. And so lastly, in the end of every game, there will be the rankings. The rankings is always important to having them coming back and to compete with the users all over the world, because we'll have the games played not only in the US, but also in China, in Taiwan, and in the Eastern area. Like all the users they will be ranked according to how many gifts they send to the streamers. So just remember them, that they will be ranked like globally. So that's kind of a way to encourage them to giving more impact, and they will be always like show up in the end of the game. Yeah, so lastly we'll show 2 teasers of the different kind of, globally, because the game will be like distributed to like around the world on different region of the TikTok. So lastly, we'll show 2 teasers of the 2 games will be running on this program for this batch. The first one is the Star Wars. It's more like a tower defense game.
Not the Star Wars you were thinking of.
A cartoon Star Wars, but kind of the same idea.
Tower defense.
Yeah, the tower defense. So it has 3 different kind of gameplay. The first one is also the combat version, which is head-to-head, compete with different side. And so this one, the second one will be more like a tower defense. So all your fans will join together to compete with the aliens.
First, let's decompress the compress.
That's the installation tutorial, which we will
No,
get to later.
You didn't unmute yourself.
Oh, I was just talking through your mic.
Okay.
Next.
Yeah, the other one is the elves. So some of you probably be familiar with the gameplay. It's just like also the combat game, like the fans joining different sides and they compete with each other.
I do have a question really quick before we continue. We are only able to choose one, correct?
That is correct. And that brings me to my next point. I know we've just covered a lot of information, and in terms of the next steps, we are going to be working alongside you guys. You'll be directly working with me. I'm your point of contact. I'm going to make sure that everyone has a very smooth installation process, because depending on the games you choose, there's different installation processes, and we need to also like tell you about the games, also just give you information about how they work so that you can better engage your audience. So it's very important. So next steps, I'm going to be sending out availability sheets. They're going to be Google Sheets for you guys to put down your availability for installation workshops. Like Chen Hui said, we're going to be running 2 demo games, one being Elves, and there's 6 headcount for that. And the other is Star Wars, the first game that was just showcased. So it'll be on a first come, first serve basis. 5 to 5? Oh, my apologies. So we're gonna have like 7 headcount for Elves and 3 for Star Wars.
It looks to me that everyone wants to do probably elves. Can we do a battle for it or something like off stream or something? Because I'm down, I'm all in for elves as well. It looks like the chat's going crazy with elves. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Hold on, just give me 1 second. Okay, since everyone, it looks like the majority of the chat is looking to test out elves. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna coordinate with the game provider to see like how many headcounts I'll be able to get for you guys, and I'm gonna be able to. There's no guarantee because I'm not in charge of assigning the headcounts, but I'm gonna see what I can do to get as many people on the elves as possible. That said, they're still gonna like eventually we'll still be running like 2 games for the test streams, and right now we're gonna do just like I'm gonna be sending out 2 different availability sheets. So if you could put down your availability for this Friday and the next week, I'm going to be sending out detailed instructions very soon after this meeting. So it'll be on a first come, first serve basis. Like whoever, like the first 6 people who put down their availability on a worksheet for, say, for example, for elves will get elves. But it all depends on the final headcount we'll be able to negotiate with the game providers.
So I do want to say I'm a professional computer tech. You could probably just give me the instructions and I won't need to attend any kind of meeting or anything. I can probably figure it out. But if I have to be at the meeting, I could make myself available for it. But I am very, very technical, so I can probably figure this out.
Yeah, that's great. If you think if you think that like you'll be able to figure it out, definitely we can like move forward with that. And the point of it is that like we feel like it'd just be more efficient if we could all to get together and help each other out in terms of installation, and just kind of go over the process so that I can walk you through how those games work, and so that like if you have any questions, I'll be able to provide live feedback as well. But if you feel like like you can figure it out on your own, you can always hit me up on Discord and I'll be available. I'll be I'll be happy to answer any questions you have. And moving on, so after the so I'll still be setting up the installation workshops just so that like we can make sure that everyone's have the games installed and ready to run for the streams. And I will be sending out availability sheets very soon after this meeting. And just to go over some quick specs, it requires a Windows operating system, and basically the installation is comprised of 2 components. You're going to install the game package, which will be a zip file, and there's going to be a chat collection tool that's going to enable you to like reflect whatever is going on in real time in the chat onto the game. And after we have the games installed, we need authorization from the agency and the game providers to get you the account to make sure that you'll be able to log into those games and have them like run smoothly on your streams. And lastly, I will be coordinating with you to specify your stream times, like a designated time and date for you to stream the game. And I will be working very closely with you to make sure that everyone has a very smooth installation and like operation process. And so we actually just got word from the game providers. Unfortunately, we're only gonna have 3 headcounts for elves, and we're gonna have 7 for Star Wars. Dibs on elves. Yeah, but I will be sending out the availability sheet, and just the first 3 people who like put dibs on, who put down their availability will get the head count. So like we'll be checking the version history to see like who put down their names first. But as we test out more games, there will be more headcount available. But for the time being, this is the best that I can do. I'm sorry, guys. But Randy told you. I will have to check with Randy, but but for the time being, I will just be putting out, this is all I can do. My bad, guys. But yeah, so like any questions so far? Wait, I saw a question earlier about the commission percentage and the cost. So like I was gonna address those items during the individual workshop, but overall the information is that like the first week it will be free. You guys can stream the game for as long as you want, and there will be no additional cost, but it will be running it on a week by week basis.
You muted, Kyle.
Yeah, just give me 1 second. Yeah, so the first week would be free. Yeah, if anyone knows Chinese, they'll definitely be able to. Next time we're just gonna be on. But anyways, first week would be free, and second it will be running it on a week by week basis. The current agreement is with the game provider is that like we'll be taking a 5% commission of the total diamonds earned from your first week, and that will give you the access to the games for the second week. So this is like the current setup. Yeah, but that was just like the very quick answer. I will be providing more details during the individual workshops, but so far, do we have any other questions? I appreciate it.
I have a technical question for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the game installation, is the game going to be hosted locally on my machine?
Yes.
Or is it reaching out to a server that it needs to authenticate with and needs to send data to, or is everything local?
We'll have a server.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
So it will be installed on your computer like locally, but it will sending data to the server. Like, cause that's how we can get the world ranking, like around the like different kind of live streamers and different kind of funds. So yeah. Yeah.
And also we recommend like
a better GPU computer, like because for example for the elves, because it's a 3D games, so it might get like a lower rate if it's running on like a yeah.
I do have a question. So
Oh,
it might
yeah,
might be
that's cool.
something, might be something someone can answer. So I'm trying to plan, like try to get like, you know, my engagement better and with people, and with this, it's a gifting game. I'll definitely be, you know, making this an event, and I'm gonna try to just kind of sift out the people that are, you know, tappers and shares and, you know, likes, rather in compared to the ones that are like competitive. like me and, going all in and, throwing, big diamonds to it. So is there a way, because I haven't figured it out yet, is there a way to charge for an event on TikTok? Because I haven't been able to do that. Does
don't think
anybody
so.
know? Because it does say free event, but I mean, like a hand heart, that would sift out a lot of, people, just $1 gift.
So let me just confirm. Did you mean that? So basically, you want to be able to set up an event that requires the audience to pay some kind of like entry fee,
Correct.
admission fee in order
Yes.
to be able to participate?
Yes.
Okay. I don't have the answer for you right now, but I will make sure to mark the question down and confirm with our POC with TikTok as well as Randy to see if that's possible.
If we
And
could
then
set
we'll
it
get
up,
back
I
to you.
mean, that would be great.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a
Yep.
good idea. It's gonna filter out a lot of the people who are not gonna spend. That would be interesting. But other than that, any other questions? Okay, cool. Thank you guys again for coming to this very initial workshop, and I hope you guys are ready. We're super psyched. This is going to be very entertaining and interesting. And I will be, again, like the very next step is for me to send out the availability sheets, 3 headcounts for elves, 7 for Star Wars. So whoever put down the availability first get the headcount. And I will be sending out detailed instructions in the Discord channel as well. And meanwhile, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me on Discord and I will get back to you as soon as I can.
Is this Discord sheet gonna be sent out individually to our Discord, or is this gonna be a free for all sent in the chat that we have for the gaming and its competitive mode on?
It's gonna be I'm gonna be sending out the links in the Discord server, specifically in the in the text channel, and I'm gonna tag everyone. I'm gonna add everyone, so you'll get a notification when the sheets are out. But it should be out. Like I already have the sheets ready, so all I need to do is to like type out the instructions and send the links. So like I know it's like it's pretty intense, but
We already all competitive here. We're all ready for it. We're ready
I
for it.
I
We're
can
gonna
tell.
be watching our Discords like a hawk. That's what I'm gonna leave it on. I'm ready. So
That's the
let's go.
spirit. I love that. Yeah, but just definitely keep an eye out for the Discord notification. It's definitely gonna be out within the next hour. And so if you could put down your availability, I will we'll find a time that works for everyone and set up the installation workshops. But in terms of the headcount, we have 7 for Star Wars and 3 for elves. And again, first come, first serve. Other than that, thank you guys so much for coming to this meeting. My name is Kyle. I'm here with Chen Hui, reporting live from Los Angeles. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Love you too.
Thank you guys. This is great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.